Unsyndicated presents Off the Air with Sean Belegian.
He's Blake, courtesy, of course, Mitch Album Show and Sports Rap 760 WJR. I'm Sean Belegian. Hi, how are you? Blake, you've been married, since last August, right?
June.
August, June, July, whatever.
Yeah, you couldn't be there. I know. It's fine.
Oh, here we go. So this is something that you have to take care of now. You really do. You have to take care of this right now. You have to go get yourself a new grill, especially on the eve of a day where it's supposed to be like 70 degrees tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like you have to go, you know, that is something that you have to take care of. And men, we are not needy creatures. Okay. I don't need a lot of things. Okay. But you need a competent grill, young man. Can you go out and splurge a little on yourself? Do you think your wife would allow you to do that?
I hope. So we had the conversation. The things are in motion. We're working on it. I said, listen, this is a good investment. We buy a nice grill. We use it like we were talking about before the show. I use it at least once a week, and that's in the winter because I meal prep all my food for the whole week. I grill up all my chicken every week. I go to the local meat market.
This is like phone sex.
They should be sponsoring this show. I'm gonna have to go in there and talk to them.
Absolutely.
I go to my local meat market. I pick up 5 chicken breasts. I come home. I grill them right away because they've pre-marinated breasts at the one right by my house.
Talk to me.
Grill them up. Put them all in food containers with some white rice and some broccoli. And those are my meals for the week. It's a beautiful thing. I'm trying to be healthy. I'm trying to lose more weight. Since I started doing that, I've probably lost like another 20 pounds. I think I've lost like a total of 50, 60 pounds now.
Good for you, dude.
Since I started everything over. My wife just texted me, what are you talking about? A grill.
Oh, can't we allow our little Blake just a grill?
Honey, I need a new grill. Okay, that's all I need.
Paul's got the $1 million question though. When you say a decent grill, how much money are we talking,
honey?
And I think that's a fair question, especially you're a young married couple and all that stuff. You got to be careful about your finances. I'll get wifey's back on that a little bit.
Yeah.
But what are we talking about? Because Blake, you've been over here for some of the smoke fests. I don't know if you've taken a gander at my Weber. That thing is like 21 years old. It is the old Iron Horse. It's going to last forever, honestly. Okay. When Putin pushes the button, all right, there's going to be maggots and my grill. That's what's going to survive the nuclear holocaust. Okay. That thing is, just steady as she go. And sometimes I go out and I have conversations with her and I go, listen, honey, I know we don't see as much of each other as we used to because of those smokers, but you need to know how much I appreciate you. I am just a big fan of yours. You can't put a price tag on a good grill, dude. You can't.
Yeah, I agree. I see, Ed, but that's the part that scares me. I can't be dropping, as your wife so lovely said in the chat, $900. That's a big investment right now. We got a lot of things going on at the homestead. I would say I would be comfortable in that 600 range. I think that I can get a good Weber for 600.
Do some research. Absolutely. Do some research.
I was looking at the Weber Spirit. I think that's the model. Weber should also be sponsoring the show. But also so Cabela's, I don't know if anyone in the chat has had a Cabela's brand grill, and I don't know if I can trust that or not, but they have one that's a 4-burner but 2 of the burners are a regular grill and 2 of them are a flat top. I don't want to fully convert to a flat top. Like, I don't want to get a Blackstone because I like the grill marks. I like that on my chicken.
100%. Yes.
And for burgers, I like being able to do regular burgers or smash burgers.
Yes.
I want to be able to cook breakfast on the grill.
Listen, there is nothing wrong as well. I'll go a step further with the good old fashioned. Go pick up your charcoal briquettes and fire it up that way, like the old fashioned way.
The problem, I'm a propane guy because of time. Sorry, you cut out.
No. Weber Grill for the win.
Yeah.
Our buddy Mike Parsons going to fire up some ribeye or New York strip tomorrow. Depends on what's on sale at my local Meyer Thrifty Acre. Chuck said, looks like Baez got a new grill, already barbecue chicken, 0 for 11, 5Ks in spring training. Only 4 years left on that contract.
People are starting to get into Tigers fever.
That's what I wanted to throw at you, though, okay? Because I think anybody that knows me, and it's much like you, I went on that high protein diet last summer and dropped like 32 pounds like that, just eating the high protein. It was wonderful. Paul said Costco is the place to buy your meat. Costco is very underrated. I'm not going to argue that point. Look, I get snobbish. I openly admit it. I want to go to a butcher. Okay. I do. And hi, Plymouth. You guys, speaking of sponsors, we'd love to have you guys on Plymouth Prime Meats. But no, all jokes aside, I like going to a butcher, but really and truly, I know there's some people out there that are going to laugh at what Paul just said and I repeated. Costco's got a good selection of meat. I think people would be surprised, Blake, at Costco's selection of meat. I'm not joking. It's a pretty damn good selection.
Costco you can buy everything from meat to tires for your car, and it's top shelf, all of it.
Can't deny it. All right, so here's a dumb question. I don't know why I was thinking of this. It's probably because it's 70 degrees tomorrow, right? And there's an even money chance that I'm going to fire up the grill. Not the smokers, but the grill, okay? Blake, you only have one barbecue item that you can eat. That's it. Taking everything away. All right. And I'm talking about things you can smoke, things you can grill. You have to pick one favorite. That's it.
This is easy.
Really?
For me, yeah.
Oh, no way. Because I've already changed my mind. I think no less than 14 times since you and I started talking about this. All right. So what's your go-to?
Burgers. I love a good burger. It's so steady. It's consistent. You like when you nail a burger and you just put that, it's the best. There's nothing like, I understand there's more complicated things, there's more time consuming things, but a burger on a hot summer day in the afternoon, and you put that fresh slice of American cheese on there,
you're doing it
and
again.
you put that crispy lettuce on there. You toast up the bun a little bit. No, give me a burger all day.
Medium
day.
Rare? Medium rare.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
But the problem is the wife, everything has to be well done. Everything has to be overcooked. So my food, I have to put her food on, like, I'm not even joking, 5 to 10 minutes before my food so that I can time it right.
Okay. So I'm going to go down my number one, okay? And you know, Barbecue and Mike and I have said this for years. The hot dog is the most underrated thing ever. You give me a really good hot dog, okay? Charred just right. Mustard on there, put some relish, onions. It is like the most underrated delicacy. Like, everybody disrespects the hot dog. The hot dog is just like a perfect summertime thing that you were talking about. Okay. Yeah. Burger was in my mind. No doubt about that. Ribs. I know if my son was listening, he would say Dad's ribs, because he texts me once a week going, I don't miss you, Dad. I miss your ribs. Thank you, son. I appreciate that greatly. I'm going to agree with what Chuck said. Beef short ribs. Absolutely love them. I can't do without them. If If you get that short rib right to 203, okay, the term meat butter, it just like honestly, it just melts in your mouth. You got that smoke flavor. You got that hearty, in my mind, that beef is a little hearty from the beef short rib, but you get it right to 203, that thing just melts in your mouth. So honest to goodness, I'd probably go beef short rib.
Yeah.
But you hated my beef short ribs. You weren't a big fan
I had
of
never
them.
had them before, and I was like, this is incredible. But I was a novice to them. I love your pulled pork is the best. So whatever.
Absolutely.
I do nothing but compliment you, and you don't even like my food. Whatever. You know what? Whatever. I don't deserve
chicken spinach feta burger. Yeah, that's Kristen's jam. She likes that chicken spinach feta.
That's kind of bougie.
Well, you know what? You kind of made that mix yourself. Like you froze this. You'll appreciate this, Blake. Like last August, September, she made like this giant batch at home and, made the patties, wrapped them in like cellophane or wax paper, whatever the hell it is, and fired a bunch of them like in the freezer. So like if the mood hits, it's like, hey, can you fire up the grill and get one of these on? Of course, I can roll like that. So you would appreciate that. They're pretty good. Now, would I put that near the top of my list? No, heavens no. But I was actually kind of surprised. They were pretty good.
Yeah. No, they sound delicious. I'm in. I'll try one. Try anything once.
See, and like Paul brought it up, and our buddy Mike Parsons brought it up. What about the good old steak? Like that's another one. It's almost like, oh yeah, Mr. Steak, I forgot about you. And you have to give a tip of the cap because like the way that you described that burger, if you nail a steak, you get it to medium rare perfection. Okay. There is just an explosion in your mouth when you take that first bite. There really is. I mean, if you do it right, and I know I'm in the minority, everybody talks about ribeyes and rightfully so. Boy, I think a good New York strip is hard to deny. I really, don't get me wrong, I'd rather have a tenderloin, but I like the New York strip. I'm a big fan. Don't get me wrong. The marbling is the clincher, but it's almost like the New York strip's disrespected.
No, I agree 100%. 100%.
This was so this is a conversation that started with Blake and I like maybe 5 minutes before the show started. And so we just figured we continue this conversation. All right. Yeah. So do some research. If you need any assistance, I'll help you out. We're going to find the right grill for Blake. Okay.
Uncle Sean will take care of me.
I haven't bought a new grill and
just give me yours and then then you get a new one.
Do you know, like, honestly, and I think that people get a little too snobby with the charcoal briquettes. I do. Don't get me wrong. I love it. That's old school. That's what we grew up on. There is nothing wrong with a propane grill. Nothing. No. There is nothing wrong with a propane grill. No problem at all. Do I miss the briquettes? Yeah. Do I almost want to go buy one of the old school, grills just to have it in my backyard? Yeah. But man, there's nothing wrong with just firing up that Weber and all the sweet spots on your grill. Every grill has their own sweet spot. There's nothing like, look at this. How about this, Blake? Huh? I could put a little charcoal in this thing.
Beautiful.
That's perfect for I could put one giant burger on there, right? With just a couple of briquettes in there and let's grill. Let's go, right?
For me, it's a time thing. Like the whole charcoal thing, it just takes time. And when I'm like, I need a burger in the middle of the summer, I just want to be able to fire it up, and it's a convenience thing,
No, I totally get it. Hey, before we talk about the state of basketball in our state, which is a disaster. I mean, it really is. Can we talk about some of our friends? We have a lot of friends that we like to talk about during the course of this show. And if I can I start with our friends from the Wealth Advantage Group? And when I say friends, I don't use that term loosely. No, legitimately. See the guy on the left? That's Mike Cusack. He is my friend. The guy on the right, that's Jeff Cusack. He is my friend. And if you are ready to take charge of your financial future, look no further than the Wealth Advantage Group, located in historic downtown Northville and owned by two brothers with over 20 years of industry experience. They understand that your financial goals are as unique as you are. That's why they offer personalized expert guidance to help you navigate the complexity of financial planning. Now, whether you're saving for retirement, getting ready to sell your company, or already in retirement, they can help guide you through every step of your financial journey. They work with clients throughout all stages of life and have clients in over 20 states. The investment world is a complex world. So if you are ready to start taking your finances more seriously, it might be time to work with a couple of experts. Reach out to my friends at the Wealth Advantage Group at 248-773-8574 or view their website at www.thewealthadv.com. Make sure to tell them that we sent you. They are going to take care of you. They're great guys. Like I said, legitimate friends, my old next door neighbors. They take care of me and my family, and I know they'll take care of you. So, Blake, you and I were talking about this. I don't remember. All the weeks go together. It was last week, the week before, whatever the case may be. And we were talking about Michigan, which is, I'm sorry, friend, I'm not trying to be mean, a dumpster fire. And Michigan State, which I even said to you at the time, I don't think that people are taking they might not make the tournament seriously enough at the time. Yeah. And I'll tell you what, since you and I had that conversation, the season has played out exactly the way that we talked about it playing out. I mean, they are staring at, in my mind right now, an 18-13 record.
Yep.
And what if they lose? What if they lose both of those games? They have Northwestern coming up on Wednesday in Indiana, which has been a train wreck in and of itself, but down at Assembly Hall. 17-14, Blake, is probably not going to get you in the tournament. No, I want to start with your guys first. Can I start with your guys first?
Yeah, we can. Sure. Why not?
I hope I'm not embarrassing you by repeating what you told me. A lot of people have kind of checked out. Yeah, is that the best way to say it? The game's on and they checked out.
Yeah, I'm done. There's no why would I watch? What's the point?
Now, before I get some of your thoughts on where they're at now, where you want them to be, and of course, Juwan Howard, now I have a confession to make to you. And I think a lot of Spartan fans are going to, I was the same way last night. There was no reason to watch that game against Purdue. None. No. None. I knew how that game was going to go.
I think that the difference is at least Michigan State's competitive. Michigan's not even competitive. They've given up. I mean, they got smoked by a horrible Ohio State team. And Ohio State's played better since they fired their coach. Yeah, I'll give them that. But still, that's one of the three worst teams in the Big Ten, and they got smoked. They got smoked by a Rutgers team that can't score, and they gave up over 80 points. They're a dead team walking.
Is it a case of this is just a bad year? Or I've seen so many people talk about this that they think this Juwan thing isn't working. I hate to put you on the spot, but where are your thoughts on that? Do you want to give him more time, or are you already starting to think, okay, maybe this isn't working. Maybe it's time to look for something different?
I think Juwan can acquire talent, especially in today's day and age, but I just don't think he's a good head coach. They don't play defense legitimately, and I'm ready to move on. I'm fine with that. Can we get Beeline back? Is that possible? Is that
Can I tell you, and again, I know a lot of my friends who are Michigan State fans are saying, I can't believe you're doing this. Don't you forget how many times Tom Izzo's taken this team back from the brink, blah, 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 blah. Okay. This has been for a while now, for 4 years now, around a 500 basketball team in conference. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And in my mind, one man's opinion, and I'm going to say this, you guys all know this deep down inside if you're a Spartan basketball fan. Yesterday was the biggest old bit in the history of mankind. I didn't have to watch a second of the game, and I guarantee you I would have said exactly how that game turned out, okay? They're going to show some fight. They're going to take a lead. You're going to think to yourself, oh my gosh, yeah, maybe it's coming together. Wouldn't this be great if we knocked off Purdue? Purdue was going to go on some crazy run. Michigan State was going to fight back and make you think that maybe at the end some of that Izzo magic was going to be sprinkled around, and they were going to end up losing the game. And then the worst part is, and again, whether Spartan fans want to admit this or not, to me is inconsequential. Do you know what you hear after the fact? Boy, this team fights hard. They fight hard. I want to remind people, Blake, that this was a perennial top 5 basketball team.
They were a top 5 preseason team this year.
At the beginning of the year, this was a top 5 basketball team.
Yeah.
And I think another one of the great old bits for Michigan State fans, and I bet you smile when I say this because I know a lot of fans of other teams have kind of picked up on this. When a season doesn't go the way that Michigan State fans thought it was going to go, do you know what their go-to has been the last few years? Oh, look who's coming back. Wait till you see what's coming. Did you see those? You know I'm right. I'm so glad that you're smiling. This has become the new old bit for Michigan State. Over the course of 4 years, this has been a 500 basketball team in conference right around there, okay? We go through these things, and then we all sit back and say that old Izzo magic is going to, don't worry, here it comes. Don't you remember what happened in 05? Don't you remember what happened in 09? Don't you remember? It's always based on things that happened a long time ago. And the unfortunate reality is, much like you said, I can't get past the fact that this team was a top 5 team.
Mm-hmm.
So let's play a game of pretend. Let's play a game of pretend for a second. The Spartans get in the tournament and win a game. God forbid they actually win 2, which I can't see it happening considering what kind of seed they'll be. And a lot of people think they're going to go into UConn's region. But let's play a game of pretend and say they do. And they get to the Sweet 16. You know as well as I do. Do you know what people will say? That they made up for it. That is revenge and you owe coach an apology. Look, you know as well as I do, if they win a game in the tournament as an 8 seed or a 9 seed, you're going to get a lot of people who say that. Yeah. And this is where I go back and I say, I'm sorry, that is moving the goalposts. When you are a top 5 team to start the season, pardon me if I don't get excited about going to the round of 32. Pardon me if I don't even get excited about going to the round of 16. You know what I mean? Those expectations are there for a reason. And people like me wait till this year. That's kind of been the pattern for a few years now. It really has become, and I hope Spartan fans aren't mad at me for saying this, but I know many of them will be. It's kind of become an old bit in the last few years. Whether you want to admit it or not, I don't care. It has.
It sounds very similar to, well, there's 2 comparisons I can make, actually. It sounds very similar to a certain coach in Ann Arbor for a while. Oh, wait till next year.
Yeah.
And then he figured it out and it happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Izzo seems so much like Dabo Swinney in Clemson. He's just not willing to adapt. He's not willing to grow with the times. I understand people are pissed off about the place that college athletics are in with the transfer portal and NIL and everything. but it's not going anywhere. Just so everyone's clear on that. All these changes and stuff, he's going to have to get with the times or he's going to keep falling behind.
I love to hear you say that, and I'm serious. And I hope I love Coach Izzo. He is a treasure. Okay, we had him on our show, before I got fired and everything. I love Coach Izzo. All right, that doesn't change the fact that he won a national championship. That doesn't change the fact that they should erect statues of the man up there. That doesn't change the fact that he is an incredible human being who loves that university. But what you just said is spot on. You have to be willing to change with the times. You have to be. And I think his stubbornness, and that's exactly what it is, his stubbornness in not addressing the transfer portal this year really took a team that had the potential to live up to those lofty expectations. I think we overrated certain aspects about that team. I think we can all be man enough to admit that. But nobody thought that this team would be sitting where they are right now. Nobody thought that. No way, no how. Even with the old bit taken into consideration. And I'm with you. Do you know what made Nick Saban so great? Is that Nick Saban was able to be Nick Saban over multiple eras of college football.
That's what made change Nick Saban with the so game. Great.
Yep.
He didn't let the game change him. He could adapt and roll with whatever was going on. And he was so cocky. He could be like for example, when the NCAA changed all the rules about the clock and like the fast plays and all that stuff. He was like, "Are you sure you want to do that? Because watch what I'm going to do."
Yeah.
And then he turned Alabama into an offensive juggernaut. Like
that was
so.
You're absolutely right.
He was able to adapt, and that's what you have to be able to do in college athletics. You can't just stand by.
I love talking to a guy like you. And for people out there that aren't aware of this, I think Blake first caught my eye, not only because he's an incredibly handsome man, but he would whisper sweet nothings about college football to me like that. Like, I don't care who you root for. Like, you have to. Nick Saban is unbelievable. For the reasons that you just described, like all the respect in the world for that guy to continuously change with the times, not try to change the times, but change with the times and roll with the punches. Like mad respect. Quite frankly, I don't think enough is said about Nick Saban in that regard. I mean,
100%.
As Paul said, Izzo is going D'Antonio, set in his ways, and the game is passing him by. I'm not ready to send Coach Izzo out to the pasture, and maybe that's my heart speaking and not my head. Okay, I know a lot of people are. I'm not ready to do that yet because I think he has an emotional connection with players that you can't put a price tag on. You cannot put a price tag on that.
Do you think,
however,
real quick, do you think that there would be more pressure on him with how this is going this year if Michigan was having a really good year?
100%.
Okay.
100%. Absolutely. However, if Coach Izzo isn't willing to change with the times and take advantage of some of the benefits that are afforded to him, maybe it is time. And I don't like saying that. I like Tom Izzo. I like Tom Izzo, the person. Okay. Like, forget about basketball, coach. I like Tom Izzo, the person. But hey, you said it perfectly the way that, you described the Nick Saban situation. You gotta be willing to change with the times, man. And if he does, I think this year could have been salvaged. I really do. I think there were pieces that he could have gone out there and taken advantage of that. And it's like shopping. Okay. Blake, I'm having a barbecue, right? You've been to some of the barbecues. All right. Oh, dude, I don't have any wings. I got to run up to the store and go get some wings. Oh my gosh. You know what? I got to get some zip sauce. I am not going to make a good tenderloin without a solid zip sauce. Okay. Go pick up some provisions. I'm not talking about any of those sides either. Not picking up any of those damn sides.
No, but you know, the old bit of January, February Izzo, is that still alive? I haven't heard that one as much, and I really miss it. I want you to know I miss that one.
Can I change it?
Because the national championship is, of course, played in April. So that was the ironic part about that bit.
Can I change it to you?
Yeah, of course.
January, February, Nightingale.
True. Really happy for you.
Isn't it funny? Like we were talking to Coach Nightingale on that show that I did with you, you know, before I got fired.
Yeah.
And at the beginning of the year, do you remember? I think it was the first time we talked to him. We got done, and I said to you and Lomas, this is a really good team. A really good team. Blake, I'm going to be point blank honest with you. Did I think they'd win the Big Ten? Nope. I knew they were a good team. I mean, you saw the pieces that they had. And the funny thing is, it's almost like the Izzo conversation that we just had. It wasn't just the pieces that they had. It was partly what was to come. Hey, this Trey Augustine guy came in. Isn't that wonderful? Hey, you know, we got this kid to transfer from Northern Michigan. But you should see some of the kids that committed from the NTDP. You should see some of the kids that were supposed to go someplace else, but flipped their commit and are going to Michigan State. It was, okay, let's see what this year is, but wait till next year. You know, which again, if we're being honest, that's kind of what some of the Izzo seasons in the later portion of his career has become. And unlike that, you know what they did? They exceeded expectations. They by a mile. Look, this is a team that has a good run in them. You know, I'm not going to sit here and say that they're going to win the Natty or anything like that. But this is a team that has a good run in them. Make no mistake about that. And that's pretty cool to see.
Yeah. And Nightingale, I mean, he's a really good dude. I mean, I talk to him every week on the phone. Like, I'm the one that's putting him on the air, so I get a chance to chat with him and everything. And he's always very nice, very gracious, everything. So,
well, we're gonna hold him to
speak ill on him.
We're gonna hold him to this. He told both of us that he wants to come on and chat with us, so we're gonna get Coach Nightingale on. We'll get him on before the tournament starts. Can I talk about legacy for just a moment before we get into some other things? Did you know that thousands of Metro Detroiters have already called Legacy Partners to get help with their home and auto insurance? Our friends at Legacy Partners are one of Southeast Michigan's top independent insurance agents and provide a full-service, one-stop solution for all of your insurance needs, personal and business, large or small. Joe, Alex, Dave, great fellas there at Legacy Partners, and they have helped many of our listeners by fixing mistakes other agents have made, asking the right questions to get the right coverage put in place to properly protect you, and most importantly, they'll help you save money. Chances are, if you haven't checked your policies in the last year, you are probably paying too much and you could be underinsured. What are you waiting for? Give Legacy Partners a chance to help with your home, your car, life insurance, Medicare enrollment, or your business insurance needs. Call them today at 586-209-4106 or visit legacypartnersins.com to get started with your new quotes. Again, please do us a favor. Say Sean sent you, Blake sent you. You'll be very, very glad that you did. They're going to take care of you. So your newfound Red Wing fandom, it hasn't taken a hit the last couple of days?
No.
Good for you. That makes me happy. That makes me happy.
I didn't get to watch. I didn't catch any of the game Thursday because I was, we had the pod and then I was driving home, so I didn't get to catch any of that. And then I caught some of the game yesterday. It was yesterday, right? These days are like running together. Yeah, I caught some of the game yesterday, and obviously I was disappointed, but like we talked about, Florida's a really good team, and like you can tell they just like get under your skin.
That's a playoff team, man.
Mm-hmm. I do not want to see them in a 4-game series.
You wouldn't want anything to do with them. It's funny because if you guys follow What the Puck, and I hope you follow What the Puck. By the way, Chris Knuckles Nyland coming on Wednesday night. How stinking cool is that? We've been talking up Florida since we started doing the shows. And at the time, so many people were talking Rangers. So many people were talking Bruins. I like that Florida team. I think they're doing the exact same thing that they did last year, except this time they're not just sneaking into the playoff. You need that sandpaper. And I think what happened the last couple days, and Wings fans, if you guys are watching, I'd love to get your thoughts on this. I think this is good for the Red Wings. And I hope I'm not being a slapdick by saying that. I think this is good for the Red Wings. You had a very desperate New York Islanders come in here. Okay. And the Red Wings have been in that position the last few years, Blake, where they're kind of looking up and going, well, golly gee, maybe if we go on a little run, we can find ourselves in the playoff. Well, that's where the Islanders are at right now. And obviously they made the change to the fiery Patrick Waugh as their coach. And you know what? They're showing some of that fire sometimes. And I think they showed some of that fire the other night. They had to have that. I mean, they're in desperation mode right now. And I always go back. I remember in 2006, it was Steve Yzerman's last year. I told anybody that would listen, that Edmonton series scared the sin out of me in the first round because Edmonton had been in desperation mode for really about a month and a half. They were, in essence, playing playoff hockey for a month and a half. And I think to play with that desperation like the Islanders did the other night, that's a good lesson. And then to face a team like the Florida Panthers, who, Blake, I think you nailed it. That's a playoff team. Okay. And when I say make the play, I don't mean make the playoffs. I'm talking about that's a type of team you want to go to a war with. Who can forget their run last year? Obviously, they ran out of gas and, quite frankly, bodies against Vegas. But I don't think those two losses were bad losses. I don't. And I don't know if I'm in the minority there. I know everybody's going, oh, no, here we go again. Are they going to blow this lead? I don't think it's going to happen. I think they're further along the line now. Obviously, Alex Lyon in net is a huge factor, but I don't think they're bad losses. No loss, a good loss. Okay, all that cliche crap, but I don't think either of those losses are bad losses.
Can I give you the dumb sports talk radio caller take?
Yes, I love dumb sports talk radio. Go ahead.
Good. It's the jersey patch. They shouldn't have changed anything. They were on a run. They change up the jersey, putting on a jersey patch, and then they go for 2 straight losses. It's all the jersey patch's fault. Don't change anything.
All right. Full confession. Yeah. Are you superstitious when you watch games?
Yeah.
I have some weird superstitions. When the Habs made their run a couple years ago, remember that crazy run to the finals?
Mm-hmm.
I would go like this to everybody. Out. They weren't allowed to watch the games with me. True story.
Like when
as soon as game time came, I'd go like this. Out. Nope. Nobody was allowed to watch a game with me.
During the regular season, I watched every single Michigan game in my man cave. Every single one. No matter what, I was in the man cave. The Rose Bowl, I watched in the living room the first half. And I was like, I can't. I went into the other room and watched the rest of the game.
And then after that, there's no way you change it.
No. Right? The national championship, I was in the room. I was in the man cave.
So I have a funny one, and I'm showing my age here. Blake, many, many years ago, there weren't many channel options in Detroit.
Mhm.
If your dad is watching, he could tell you there was like 2, there was 4, there was 7, there was 9. If you turn the rabbit ears the right way, you might be able to get 11, 13. Okay. So you couldn't see certain playoff games. And there was a channel out of Windsor. It was channel 54. And if I turn my rabbit ears just the right way, I could get the squiggly line of the Habs games in French. True story. And one time, gosh, I think it was 84. So I was, like 13 years old. Okay, make an old man joke.
I'm not going.
Listen, I was so pissed off. I turned the game off. I was so mad. I turned the game off. And then, of course, my wits came back to me after a couple minutes, and I went back in the room. And in that time frame, true story, they scored twice.
You turned it back off.
That became a tradition. That goes on to this day. If I get really frustrated, I will go turn the television off. Seriously, this started in 1984. So you're talking 40 years now. Well, you don't have to worry about the playoffs this year. But seriously. So what I do is I'll get up, turn the television off, go kind of take a walk for a couple minutes, and then turn the television on. Now, have they ever scored 2 goals in that time that I did that since that point in time? No, heavens no. But it happened that one time, so by golly, it's got to happen again that other time.
Eventually, odds are in your favor. It'll happen again eventually.
Jason said, I thought Shauner kicked everyone out while he was watching, even during the regular season. No, my kids were allowed to watch with me during the regular season. In the playoffs, it was this.
I need to ask you.
Yeah.
How would you feel? Like, Montreal does not have a jersey sponsor, correct?
They do.
They do.
Mm-hmm.
How were you? Were you upset about that, or were you okay with it?
I don't like it, but I think both things can be true. I don't like it. It makes me want to vomit, but I also understand it's the reality of things today. Does that make sense? That doesn't mean that I like it, but I think it's, especially with the classic jerseys, again, I don't care who you root for. The Red Wings jersey's awesome. The Habs jersey's awesome. Even that damn Spoke B from Boston and that damn Leaf in Toronto, they're just classic looks. And I love the Blackhawks red jersey is like one of the sharpest jerseys out there. That's the reality of today and money and everything.
I think for playoffs, no sponsors.
I would agree with that.
Like, I remember the Leafs. I think the Leafs did it last year. Like, during the regular season on their helmets, they had a helmet sponsor. I think it was TikTok, which was very funny. And then during the playoffs, they take the helmet sponsor off. And I liked that. I think that during the playoffs, and obviously these sponsors will never go for that because that's when you got the most eyes on 100%. These teams. But at the same time, like, make them classic, because you're gonna have these pictures that live forever with jersey sponsors on them now. Like, it's just, I don't know. I don't like it.
Especially like when we were younger, there's something to be said about everybody knows what like the Stanley Cup logo looked like for all those playoff runs. You know how they would change the logo and kind of put it up on your shoulder and everything. I thought that was a classic look, and it added to, the magic of that particular run. It's, this is the reality now. I mean, it is. I think I've come to grips with it a long time ago. Well, they'll never put anything on the ice. Sure. If there's a buck to be made, they're going to make a buck. And
you think we'll ever?
I've been beaten down by that. What's that?
You think we'll ever see it in the NFL, like a jersey sponsor?
Yep, absolutely.
Really? That's the one league I just don't think they'll do it. They have too much. They have enough money.
Can I tell you why they'll do it? Because they're always going to want more money. Everything with the NFL goes like this, right? You know it, and I do it. Everything that they touch is gold, right?
Yeah.
But if there's an opportunity to make more money, and all we needed to do was find out during COVID how powerful the NFL is. You didn't even need fans. Didn't even need fans. I mean, it's insane. That's how crazy. But I don't think it'll be anytime soon, Blake. But eventually they'll make money off of it. I'm convinced
we'll see it in college football like soon.
Oh, I wouldn't be shocked at all.
Bet on that.
I wouldn't be shocked at all. Hey, listen, we only got a couple minutes left. Can I tell you about Lindsay Broadwell? She is our realtor, okay? She is legitimately our realtor. When it is time to move into your new digs, whether you're buying, you're selling, whatever the case may be, you need to contact the agent that I recommend, and that's Lindsay Broadwell. Your house is probably the biggest investment you'll ever make, and that's why you need a pro. Lindsay grew up on the main streets of Northville and has expanded her team all over Southeast Michigan. She is an expert in all facets of the business. When it's time to move, our friend Lindsay and her team will make sure you get the most out of your house and that everything goes smoothly when finding your new home. Buyers, sellers, first-time buyers, make sure you contact Lindsay at BroadwellHomes.com. She will help you with everything from start to close. Licensed realtor at Real Broker LLC. Start your search today at BroadwellHomes.com. Lindsay, great person. She'll take care of you, no doubt about it. Very quickly, Blake, I think you and I were on the same page at the beginning of the year. You can correct me if I'm wrong. We had Troy Weaver on the radio show, before I was fired. We had Troy Weaver on the radio show.
You hit the over on this show easily.
Well, there was an inside bet, okay? So a little inside information. We made some money. I thought that the Pistons over 27 this year was gold. And that's why I don't bet. That's why I don't bet. I like Troy Weaver. It isn't working. It seems like it's gotten to the point where it's throwing darts at a dartboard, trying to see what sticks. I mean, with all the upheaval, I cannot believe the state of the basketball teams in our area right now. I know we started talking about Michigan State, but we would be remiss if we didn't talk about the Pistons. It is the worst part about it is there's no end in sight. That feeling of hopelessness right now that you're just, oh, cool, they're buying out another contract. Oh, cool. Hey, maybe we can get a second round pick out of this. It is really, really disheartening to say the least. And I think for me, part of it is I like Troy. I think Troy had the right idea. I do think in the NBA, you have to tear it down to build it all back up. But it's another subtle reminder that it's not easy. Rebuilds are not easy. Even if you try to do it the right way and take your lumps, it's not easy and there's no guarantee.
No, and I mean, clearly something's not working with Monty either. I mean, I don't know. It's just, there's nothing working. I feel so bad for Cade. I genuinely, you can just see it on his face.
I agree.
You see pictures of him and he's just dead inside. And
I agree.
He was so exciting when he came here. And you can tell
agree.
he was excited to come here. And
it's depressing. Listen, couple things before we get out of here. I want to tell you, big weekend for our friends from Motor City Rockers. A couple of big wins over the weekend. Yep, they knocked off the Blue Ridge Bobcats in prolongation, 3-2, and then they came back with a big 6-2 victory. Big weekend coming up. How about a trio of games at Big Boy Arena? They got the Waterton Wolves coming in Friday night, 7:35. Then a return engagement against the Wolves, 6:05 Saturday. And then the Sunday afternoon matinee as the Blue Ridge Bobcats return to Big Boy Arena. Make sure you check them out. mcrockershockey.com. Blake, we have a pretty cool show coming up. Our friends at the Detroit Sports Commission. We said we're doing a bunch of draft podcasts. You and I get to get nerdy talking about some of the stuff, and we're going to be joined by a guy that I talked to him on the phone today. I'm not joking. Bill Dow. You've probably seen some of his articles. An absolute encyclopedia on the Lions and the draft. We're going to catch up with him as the draft is approaching so quickly. I still, this is the strangest draft year that I can ever remember from a Lions standpoint. I by this point in time, I've already been up to my neck in draft stuff. And Blake, I feel like I'm just up to my shins right now. It really has been a weird thing. And I'm sure it's kind of the same thing for you, although you're not, 100% invested. Michigan took a little bit of your attention up this fall and into the winter months.
Yeah, now JJ is going to be a top 5 pick, so I got that going for me.
We said that day one, though. Well, okay,
I know,
like that.
I know, but now everyone's finally realizing how good he is.
It's so stupid. Like the fact that people were talking about him being late first round or early second
Canadian
round.
right there.
But yeah, I mean, honestly, it's so stupid. It's so dumb.
I agree.
Like that was show one. We sat back and we were like, dude, are you serious? There's no way he's going to go that far. It's stupid.
No. And
all right.
And Bo Nix is going to be a first round pick. That's the worst part. And he stinks.
Quarterback value. Are you new to this? Right? It's incredible. Mm-hmm. All right. Anything else before we get out of here?
Not that I was trying to think of something witty to really mess with you with, but no, I know you've had a very long week. You've been working really hard, and I'm happy for you. I'm very proud of you.
I haven't been working hard. I haven't worked hard in about 30 years. What the hell are you talking about?
No, well, right. you watched a lot of hockey.
Yeah, I did. I watched a lot of hockey. Go get yourself a grill. Don't forget it. Hey, listen, Tuesday morning, we're going to get together. If you can't check it live, certainly check it later. Wednesday night, Chris Knuckles Nyland is going to join us. Blake, go get a grill. Mrs. Blake, allow the young man to get a grill. A man isn't a man until he gets a nice new grill. So please, Mrs. Blake.
That works. Whatever.
See you guys. Take care. Bye-bye.
Off the Air with Sean Baligian, featuring Sean Baligian and Blake Matrazak. Produced by Todd Losey and Blake Matrazak. Executive produced by Sean Baligian and Todd Losey. Theme song, incidental music, and related sound effects are from Play It Loud by Jam Studio. Engineering, mixing, and graphic design support provided by the unsyndicated podcast team. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Off the Air with Sean Baligian on all your favorite channels. While you're there, be sure to rate and review the podcast. Got something to say to Sean? Call the unsyndicated hotline at 248-237-3257.